This is an Alastor X Reader fanfiction by the Only Gamer Ghost on Wattpad, and their story will be linked in the description below. It was common knowledge that the day of the extermination was a busy day. Everyone was hastily preparing for the X hour, the hour of the angel's descent into hell. Especially at the hotel, the days before and after were quite full. The hours before were full of souls leaving hell, fully redeemed. After all, the time of year with more entries was right after the extermination, when hopeless demons came to the hotel searching for comfort. Reason why the day after was full as well. Cleaning unoccupied rooms, registering now-gone demons and newcomers, explaining over 1,000,000 times how the hotel worked, telling off Angel for his too many inappropriate jokes. It really took your energy and everyone else's away. But now, it was the time. The extermination time. As every year, you and Alastor were in his isolated mansion deep into the woods surrounding Pentagram City. The screams of pain and desperate yells for help didn't reach you, since the only sound in the room was the fireplace crackling, your voice and Alastor's voice. You were comfortably sitting in Alastor's lap in front of the fireplace, as per tradition, sipping on hot chocolate with marshmallows and whipped cream. "Didn't it hurt?" you asked, concerned for Alastor. "Well, I'd be lying to you if I said it didn't." He looked away from you. An embarrassed grin formed on his face. But only for a few days after the fight. I wasn't able to gain land after the extermination, but the head of a dead angel was far more important than some boring fights with some weak, insignificant demons. He sipped on his hot cocoa. Alastor stayed awake for the entire night of the extermination, since once, as he was telling you about, an angel wandered further away from the city than normal and found his home. He had almost died fighting with it, but him being one of the most powerful demons here, he was able to win the fight and gain his head. One of the rarest war trophies you could ever get here in hell. Not even Lucifer himself had it. Every year you insisted to stay awake with him to keep him company. He initially didn't want you to, but since nothing changed your mind, he allowed it, and it became your small tradition. You usually talked the night away until eventually, from tiredness, you fell asleep. And that was exactly what you two were doing. "Don't you get tired?" you asked, taking one last sip of your chocolate. "How could I ever get tired of you, my dear? I could listen to your melodic voice all night, and it's easy to get lost in those beautiful eyes of yours," he said in a flirtatious voice, grinning as the deep red blush bloomed on your face. No, that's not what I meant." You hid your face in Alastor's oversized sweater. You stole it from him when you two started dating. You thought he was going to be a bit angry with you, since you didn't ask if he was okay with it. Surprisingly, he didn't mind it. Instead, he secretly loved it. He chuckled. "My dear, you are adorable when you try and hide your face in my sweater." He loved even more teasing you about it, which usually made you blush and hide your face even more. "Stop!" you whined, gaining another chuckle from him. "Yes, dear, staying up all night can be tiring, but I do it mostly to protect you, which a sleepless night is nothing compared to what I'd do for you." "No, stop!" you whined again. Your cheeks were now as red as a tomato. "I'm sorry, dear, but making you flushed is very entertaining." You spit out a mumbled "dork" as he set his mug down on a nearby coffee table. "Are you tired, my dear? It has become quite late now." He began to stroke your back in a light circular motion. No, I'm still awake. Alastor could tell you were tired. Knowing you lied to keep him company made him smile a little. How did your day go? You asked him, since he didn't come to the hotel at all that day. Not bad. I had to talk with a few fellow overlords today. Fox and Val? You knew both of them from the few meetings Alastor brought you along to. You always had a great time since both of them flirted with you constantly, especially since you and Vox had connected a bit, making Alastor jealous. He nodded, adding with an annoyed tone, Fox told me to give you his best regards. Aw, is the big bad powerful Alastor jealous? You giggled. He rolled his eyes, not wanting to admit you were right. How did your day go at the hotel? He shifted the attention onto you. It was definitely a tiring day, you started, placing your empty mug down as well. I mostly had to be at the reception, meaning that I had to write pretty much for the entire day. At 10, my pulse already ached. He softly laughed. I also had to listen and read how demons that had to be registered died. It was hilarious. Like, how would you die choking on a dick? You both laughed at the unusual way to die. Oh, and this other demon died because he accidentally mistook water with bleach. Bleach! Like, how do you accidentally confuse water with bleach? You two laughed at the funny ways demons had died for almost an hour until your cheeks ached. At a certain point, you pushed Alastor to talk more about his day, ending up with him telling you a story about an old friend of his he didn't know came to hell until recently. It was very nice to see another familiar face, apart from Mimsy, that is. I honestly never would have thought he was going to be sent down here as well. He was quite a gentleman back in the day, but after... Alastor stopped talking as he noticed the body curled up in his lap wasn't listening to him anymore. You had fallen asleep a few minutes ago, as Alastor's soothing voice had accompanied you into a deep slumber. Your day had been quite tiring after all. Your face was pressed against his chest, legs dangling off the armchair. He smiled at your cute sleeping face, questioning how lucky he was to have you with him, doubting that he even deserved you, a literal angel in hell, for a sinner that had done more bad than good in its life. He took you up in his arms bridal style, heading for the master bedroom, walking up the stairs. He was scared to wake you if he teleported, so he took his time walking down the hall, enjoying the warmth coming from your fragile and defenseless body. Snapping his fingers, the doors of the bedroom opened and closed behind him. As he approached the bed, he turned on the small lamp to have a bit of light to work with. He gently laid you down on the mattress, placing the sheets upon your small figure, freezing as you adjust in the new environment, noticing instantly the missing warmth of Alastor's body. Alastor, you mumbled in your sleep, making a huge smile blossom on his face. Sleep well, my dear. He bent down to place a kiss on your forehead, carefully caressing your cheek. He looked at you more than one time before leaving the bedroom. God, he was lucky to have you by his side, to have you as his girlfriend. He quietly closed the door, leaving you to your peaceful sleep.